The Whispering Shadows. Chapter 2. Into the Veil. Emily felt an uncanny tug as the ancient oak began to envelop her, an otherworldly force pulling her into a realm that pulsed with unsettling energy. The swirling darkness around her was thick and suffocating, a viscous fog that wrapped around her senses. The whispers she had heard just moments ago now churned and twisted, turning from enticing melodies into a dissonant choir, echoing warnings of forgotten things. Emily, the voices sang, wavering like a distant breeze, each syllable laced with an ethereal echo that seemed to bore into her very soul. "Welcome! Welcome!" they howled in an unbearable whine. A sudden chill kissed her skin as she was thrust into a grove that shimmered with an air of spectral beauty. The trees stood like sentinels, their branches crisscrossing overhead, forming an intricate web that blocked out the golden daylight. Dappled shadows danced across the ground, an ominous performance that twisted and elongated, creating illusions out of the corners of her eyes. The sense of damp earth and blooming decay mingled in the air, a fragrant reminder of life and death somehow intertwined. "I don't understand," Emily breathed, her heart thrumming like a trapped bird in her chest. Just ahead, she saw fleeting glimpses of ethereal figures drifting through the shadows, their forms shifting and fluctuating like smoke. They hovered near the edges of the grove, their gazes filled with an intoxicating blend of longing and despair. "Here, in this place, we can be free," ventured a voice, crystal clear against the swirling noise. A girl with flowing hair as dark as midnight stepped forward, her eyes glowing with an inner light that contrasted the gloom surrounding them. "I'm Lyra," she said, gesturing to the vast expanse around them. "Welcome to the Grove of Whispers." The beauty of the grove was deceptive, alluring yet tinged with an undercurrent of dread. "What is this place?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Am I dreaming?" "No, dear child," said a deeper, more resonant voice, as a figure cloaked in tattered shadows emerged from the tree line, gliding forward with an unsettling grace. "This is our home, the realm where lost dreams and forgotten echoes reside." The air thickened, charged with an electric tension that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end. "But why have you brought me here?" she managed, glancing back towards the way she had come, the thought of escape stirring a primal urge buried deep within her. "Because you are our hope," Lyra replied, her tone shifting to a desperate plea that contrasted with her earlier excitement. "We long to be free of this cursed place. Our laughter was stolen, and we cannot reclaim it until someone is brave enough to bring it back." "Someone like you," the cloaked figure interjected, his eyes now sharp and piercing, framed by a profound darkness. "You have the spark of life, the flicker of hope we need to ignite the shadows that bind us. But understand, my dear Emily, freedom demands sacrifice." A chill wound its way down Emily's spine, and the flickering shadows around her seemed to pulse in agreement, in a rhythm that echoed through the trees. She felt the weight of unseen eyes upon her, each spirit around her watching, waiting with a haunting blend of yearning and apprehension. Shadows swirled closer, wrapping around her ankles like creeping vines silently conducting their villainous intentions. "And if I say yes?" she asked, her voice trembling as she wrestled with the growing fear dawning in her gut, a dreadful sense that this was a mistake, an irreversible decision that could bind her to the realm of shadows forever. "Playing with us will weave a bridge between our worlds," Lyra insisted, her expression a blend of both pleading desperation and wild hope. "But in doing so, you will bind your fate to ours. We only need you to laugh and to play, as we once did. Can you do that?" A hesitance gripped Emily, yet the intoxicating promise of adventure called to something deep within her. Just as she opened her mouth to respond, a sudden chill swept through the grove, sending a shockwave through the roots of the ancient tree. The whispers turned to gasps, and the air thickened with an ominous energy as the figures fell silent, their eyes widening in dread. "The Keeper has come," Lyra breathed in fear, her voice barely a whisper of wind. From the shadows, a figure materialized, tall and formless, cloaked in a dark mist that seemed to swirl as if it were alive. Where its face might have been was instead an ever-shifting mass of darkness, tendrils reaching outward, curling around the edges of the grove like predatory serpents. Emily's breath caught in her throat as fear exploded within her chest like a wild animal desperate to break free. "Who dares disturb the silence?" The keeper's voice boomed, a chilling sound much akin to the rumbling of thunder. The whispers of the spirits turned to frantic murmurs, their forms fading into the recesses of the grove as the shadow of the keeper took form. Emily stumbled back, her heart racing, a deep-seated instinct screaming at her to flee. But where could she go? The grove felt like a trap closing in around her, and the keeper's gaze was suffocating and inevitable. "Your presence here is unwelcome, little spark," it hissed, its voice echoing off the bark of the ancient trees. "You have wandered too close to the void, and your laughter shall not free the lost." Just then, a furious wind gusted through the grove, swirling leaves around Emily's feet like ghosts desperate to escape. The spirits around her trembled, their forms flickering like candles at the mercy of a storm, and for a brief moment, she could see the truth reflected in their eyes, a talisman of sorrow bound by an unbroken cycle. It was now or never. Mustering all the courage she could, Emily took a defiant step forward. "I don't fear you," she shouted, her voice quivering yet fierce. "I will not be swept into the darkness, and I will find a way to help them." The keeper recoiled as if he had been burned, the shadows curling back quickly, revealing for just a moment the grove's true nature. A haunting, yet beautiful place caught in an eternal dusk. "Help them?" The voice thundered, dripping with disdain. "Foolish child, the price will be steep. You may find the shadows have a taste for more than you are willing to pay." As the words echoed threateningly throughout the grove, Emily's heart raced wildly, a mix of defiance and fear surging through her. She was torn. Would she dare embrace the shadowy unknown that had opened before her, to courageously confront forces far beyond her comprehension? Was she truly prepared to do whatever it took to save these lost souls? Or should she heed the warning and try to find her way back home? She could feel the eyes of the spirits upon her, hope flickering within their ghostly forms. But what awaited her beyond this moment felt like a dark riddle full of twisted games and traps waiting to ensnare her. Emily took a deep breath, aware that she was now teetering on the edge of something profound and terrifying. Here, in this realm where shadows whispered and darkness lured, her fate hung in the balance, the choice echoing like a bell tolling in the stillness of the night.